board member of United We Dream. I'm also a leader within the UndocuTexas campaign, which is a United We Dream action legislative campaign here in Texas that was put together to fight back against anti-immigrant legislation that we see every legislative session. Bills like that would repeal the in-state tuition laws for documented students, their ability to apply for financial aid, and of course, so-called anti-sanctuary city laws, which are really just racist immigration laws designed to terrorize our communities. And so I, along with other leaders in Texas, have been working really hard since actually before the legislative session started in January to prepare for the session and to take on this anti-immigrant legislation. And what we saw was really that Senate Bill 4, as you may have heard, has been the key anti-immigrant legislation this year. And since it was introduced in November of 2016, once we started the session in January, it was fast-tracked through the legislative process. And what that means is it was basically rammed through the Senate process, then it went through the House process, where it ultimately was signed in a very cowardly way by the governor, Greg Abbott, over a Facebook Live on a Sunday, when most people are having dinner with their families and just really enjoying the weekend. I know people of faith, it's also a very important day for them, and that's when the governor decided to sign this racist hate law. And so what that means for our community now is that Senate Bill 4 would go into effect September 1st of 2017. And so far there have been several lawsuits filed. The state of Texas actually filed a very, what our friends at MALDEF would say, a very premature lawsuit against city officials in Austin and against MALDEF. Who have been great allies to us for years. And there are also other cities that are taking action to stop Senate Bill 4 in the courts. But what we're doing right now as immigrant youth is that we're continuing to place pressure on our local elected officials to take action against Senate Bill 4, whether that's joining these lawsuits or enacting protective policies. Here in Houston, we have provided Mayor Turner with recommendations for policies that he can bring to life in Houston that would truly make Houston a welcoming city. But all we're hearing right now is talk. And at this point, when a lot of our people are living in fear, it's not enough to say that that a city is a welcoming city, or that immigrants don't have to be afraid. And I think it's especially wrong to say that only those who commit serious criminal offenses will be affected by Senate Bill 4. That's a lie that our governor just recently said this week, because the fact of the matter is that Senate Bill 4 affects people even before they're convicted of any sort of crime. Senate Bill 4 can affect you if you are, if you stop a red light and the policeman pulls you over and he's holding you there while he's asking you questions. That is a detention, and unfortunately Senate Bill 4 will affect community members at that point of the process and interactions with law enforcement is at a detention, which is so broad. We're not talking about when someone is arrested, we're not talking about when someone is convicted. So it's really going to fall on local leaders to really step up and take whatever action they can possibly take to ensure that our immigrant community isn't scooped up in that Senate Bill 4 net.